So I've had this GoPro for maybe about a month now, and I already have to replace the glass lens because I had it too close to me one too many times welding, and it burned a bunch of little holes into it. You probably could see it on some of my past videos, but I ordered this new kit off a line. It came from some place called Camera Butter, no affiliation, but it looks pretty solid. I'll get it popped in and then give it a test run when we go and work in the shop. Well, it's Tuesday, and I've started mocking up the primary turbo's location. I decided against mounting it overhead of the engine because that would cost too much space as far as the height of the flatbed. So what I decided to do was to stack the turbos, and it also kind of gave me an idea for the name of the truck. I think I'm going to call the truck Stacked because it has stacked turbos, and it's going to have a nice big 5-inch stack on it as well. So I'm kind of at a standstill as far as this goes as well because I'm waiting for a flange for the big turbo and a couple pieces of piping. But it should all be here by Friday at the latest, I want to say, and we'll be making progress on that in no time. I'm also still waiting on parts for the front suspension. Most of it is supposed to show up tomorrow, so that'll give us something to do. In the meantime, I figured I'd start by making the outlet for the wastegate. I don't know exactly where it needs to land yet because I don't have the 90 coming off the back of the turbo, but I can get it in the general vicinity, at least for tonight. So I'm making this wastegate dump out of Schedule 10, which is essentially 1/8 of an inch thick. Some heavy gauge stuff. And the reason why I'm doing that is because once the V-bands are all attached, it will add some support in one way or another to that big old monster turbo that's going to be hanging off of the outlet of the smaller turbo. The outlet of the smaller turbo is going to be Schedule 10 as well. The 90-degree fitting for that was like $40, but I think it'll be worth it because it'll just add a lot of rigidity versus 16 gauge. So that's the plan. I've got the first 90 welded on there, and I'm going to run a section of straight tubing, but I got to mock it back up on the truck first to figure out how much. This is where I'm at so far. I made my straight piece, I added on the other 90, and it's aiming back towards this 90, which is just a mock-up piece. The one I'm going to be using is much thicker, but as you can see what it's going to do, it's just going to run this way, and then I'm going to have it join in right here, so it kind of goes in a good flow direction, even though it's probably not a big deal. But next step is to cut a piece of straight again. I think it's going to be about 7 inches, so we'll get that chopped up right now. This is what we came up with. Again, it's the wastegate dump tube, and it's going to feed into the primary turbo. So let's get it mounted and double check our fitment before we weld it all up. Well, it fits pretty nice. I think I probably will only weld a few joints on it because, like I said, this is not the 90 that it's going to feed into, so I don't want to weld it all up and then come to find out that the other 90, which I highly doubt, but it could be a tighter radius, or you know, there could be one of many things that would cause me trouble down the line. So I think I will just leave this joint unwelded, that way in case I need to shorten this tube, I can go ahead and do that. But I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. So let's pull it back off and throw some weld on it. Something maybe worth mentioning, all of these fittings come with a beveled edge, and the straight pieces of tubing that I cut obviously did not, but I did bevel them anyway. And the reason for that is because when I weld this out, if I don't have this V-groove, there's nowhere for the weld to go, so it sits on top of the pipe instead of, you know, kind of melting the two ends together. So this is going to give me much better penetration, and also the weld will look a lot nicer because it's easier to control how far out the puddle like wants to wet. So we'll throw some bead on this, and then I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. Remember how I said I wasn't going to weld it all the way? Well, that went completely out the window the second I started welding. It's okay though. I'm confident that it's very close in length to what we're going to need. And it came out really nice. So just to give you an idea, some of the welds look like. Oh, I did miss a little spot. Okay, we'll go back. Looking pretty awesome. I like it at least. What do you guys think? Oh, I caught it. Oh man. So yeah, bypasses the exhaust gas out of the engine from the secondary turbo back to the primary turbo, which is fed off of the secondary turbo. And in my mind, at least, once this is all one piece, it will add some type of strength to the support of the main turbo. I'm also going to design some type of bracket, so we will handle that in a few days. I think I'm going to call it a night, guys.